Hi everyone, James here from Duolingo. Duolingo just started as a little website teaching English for free 10 years ago. It is now teaching 40 languages to 500 million people and is the most downloaded education app of all time. It was started by a computer science professor named Luis van Ahlen, who's this guy here. And Luis grew up in Guatemala. And in Guatemala, he saw firsthand the terrible relationship between access to education and prosperity or poverty. And so Luis wanted to use technology to completely overcome this and give universal access to everyone. Very similar experience with the Duolingo English test. And that was created from Luis having to take an English test to study in the USA as an international student, like many of your students as well. And so Luis, he couldn't take a test in Guatemala. There were no testing centers. He had to go to El Salvador, in which was a civil war at the time. He had to pay thousands of dollars, wait weeks for his results. And it was such a terrible experience that Luis was again motivated to say, we've got to use technology to overcome this. We fast forward to today, after 6 years, Duolingo was taken by 1 million people last year, is accepted by 4,000 universities. It costs an eighth of the price of the competitors, and it can be done in just 1 hour. There are 3 key reasons why members should utilize the Duolingo English test. The first of these is to radically diversify your cohort. Rather than relying on large urban areas where testing centers are located, tests were taken with Duolingo in 20,000 different cities last year, including in the 80 countries that currently have no access to tests. And so rather than looking at just a small group, we were able to be equitable and open up the entire world, and your student cohort will reflect that. The second reason is to increase your conversion speed. You can get your results in as little as 12 hours, and that test has already been proctored by 3 different people. And the third reason is to just take a huge interest in benefiting your student experience. At the end of the day, student experience is really challenging and really vast, and a test is a very small part of that. And rather than making a student travel 15 hours on a bus and spending a month's salary, if you can help that student take that test securely at home for significantly less, they're going to have a much better experience. When I think of Duolingo supporting customers, I think of how every year we give tens of thousands of free tests to every institution who accepts, to governments, to immigration departments, to NGOs, so that they can assist students who can't access or cannot afford a test themselves. And so it's amazing to know that we can help students come study in places like Australia, particularly from places such as Syria, Ukraine, Afghanistan, who through no fault of their own have absolutely no access to testing. Advice for English Australia colleges. Just keep spreading the joy of language learning and teaching, and be curious and open-minded to new technology. I think we've built an incredible sector here, and technology ultimately is only going to make this better in the way that we teach, in the way that we learn, in the way that we assess. If you're interested in or curious about learning anything more about Duolingo, please get in touch. If it's from the way that we create the test, the way the test works, or the way that it's digitally secured, would love to have a chat to you and would love to share some tests and let you try it out for yourself. Thanks so much for listening, and look forward to meeting you soon.